Welcome to Rob Schmitt Tonight. For the past 3 weeks, we've been left in awe while watching the establishment political and media machine fabricate Kamala Harris into some kind of dynamo presidential candidate. We've all been thrown off. Even Trump's campaign lost a step as this insane new reality was just foisted onto all of us. And while many were nervous seeing potentially our country slipping away as two Marxists shot up in the polls, turning this election seemingly into a dead heat, there was also the realization that this just can't last. There's no way this can last. Kamala Harris has been around for a long time. And after leaving her radically left-wing home state echo chamber of California, she, as we all know, immediately collapsed. Only by the grace of equity and white guilt did she limp into the White House. So, of course, this moment running for president is clearly far beyond her capabilities. She's not a popular politician. Her party does not really like her. The campaign has been concealing this reality by hiding her behind very carefully ghost-written speeches and controlling every single move that she makes. Kamala's campaign is more scripted than a generic network TV drama. Her speeches never change. This moment will not last. And on Friday, Kamala's campaign, which has been plagiarizing so many aspects of Trump's populist movement, well, they really jumped the shark on Friday when Kamala Harris, in front of a big crowd, said this.
And it is my promise to everyone here, when I am president, we will continue our fight for working families of America. Including to raise the minimum wage and eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
My mind was blown. Yours was true. Yours was too. Yes, they are this fraudulent. Yes, they really are this phony. And yes, they will say anything to win. They'll lie through their teeth. They'll do anything. No tax on tips, of course, has been one of Trump's most popular ideas for months now, and a very effective way of luring working people who are getting crushed by inflation into his corner. Trump has been pushing this plan since at least June, if not earlier than that. Here's just some of the times he said it.
I'm also doing no tax on tips. No tax on tips. It's called no tax on tips. No tax on tips. When I get to office, we are going to not charge taxes on tips, people making tips. What I'm going to do is something that nobody has ever even thought about doing. No tax on tips.
It's amazing, isn't it? Now, just for fun, a look at how CBS News covered no tax on tips when Trump first introduced it to the American public back in June, saying it's a bad idea. It's going to cost the government $250 billion over 10 years. As if CBS believes that the money is actually the government's to begin with or something, which is even worse. And then here's the spin when Kamala said it. First off, you notice they don't excoriate her for being a plagiarist fraud, just like her boss, Joe Biden. They let her get away with stealing the idea blatantly, and then they portray her as a champion of the middle class. Fight to get more money for service workers, they say. Okay. First off, it's ludicrous to think that Kamala Harris would ever lower or get rid of any tax in this country. That's not even remotely in the playbook. Even funnier, Kamala and Joe Biden's Inflation Reduction Act, which was a huge scam, a massive spending giveaway, a lot of it going to Democrats' green energy surrogates, will actually weaponize the IRS to go after waitresses with that $80 billion and devised a new tip reporting program. So politically, of course, we are just in the twilight zone with this. No tax on tips from Kamala Harris. Another obvious reality with all of this, together Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have normalized the insane levels of pandemic spending as we have returned to regular life. Instead of spending $5 trillion like we did a year before COVID back in 2019, this country now spends $7 trillion every year. We just took all of that insane COVID spending. We said, nah, we're just going to stay here now because your government does not like spending less than they did last year. It's almost impossible for them to do. In case you didn't understand why inflation has destroyed your quality of life, that is why. Because your country no longer spends $5 trillion a year, it spends $7. So how much could that money be worth as they print more and more and more, adding $2-3 trillion a year to the national debt? For Kamala to claim she's going to lower taxes while at the same time proposing the highest levels of spending in American history is just laughable. I mean, there's nothing you can do except laugh in her face when she says this. She will say anything to win. She'll never do this. She just wants to win Nevada. It's interesting that with an election looming, we have Kamala Harris sounding so much like Donald Trump. Hey, y'all, I'm moderate Kamala. I'm here to lower the taxes after giving the IRS $80 billion and secure the border I destroyed. Vote for me. It's pathetic. It's not surprising, but it's pathetic. And let's again show you on the topic of the border, try to get through this without losing your supper, the new border ad for Kamala Harris.
As a border state prosecutor, she took on drug cartels and jailed gang members for smuggling weapons and drugs across the border. As president, she will hire thousands more border agents and crack down on fentanyl and human trafficking.
And yes, there are people in this country that are going to be fooled by this. And actually will see that and say, yeah, Kamala's been tough on the border. That's the saddest part. Surreal, phony, welcome to politics. And with those two qualities, it makes perfect sense why she chose Tim Walz, who fits right in with this ridiculous and pitiful campaign. The governor's stolen valor meltdown continues. Countless examples of Walz exaggerating his service, claiming to have been armed in action, allowing others to assume that he fought in combat without correcting them. Even his own campaign ads stretched his rank, and he allowed it. The campaign now claiming that Walz has just misspoken. Oh, okay. It's just that simple. Oh, he just misspoke 500 times over 15 years. Nah, he lied. He's a really bad person. And he lied for years to help further his political career. That's the truth. That's not misspeaking. That just means you're a scumbag. And we now have new details about his other political liability, the summer of 2020 when he allowed his fellow Marxist comrades to destroy the largest city in his state. A Minneapolis police sergeant now revealing the governor demanded police allow their precinct to be destroyed. Take a look.
I heard the governor say, give it up. It wasn't directly to me, it was through a phone call. How the governor says, give up the precinct. I mean, that's demoralizing for this whole state.
You bet it is. Minnesota's state senate looked into Walz's actions when BLM and Antifa destroyed his capital city. Quote, over 9 hours after the city made a request for assistance, Governor Walz had yet to pass the plea on to the Minnesota National Guard. Continuing philosophical, this is where it gets good, philosophical conflict caused a hesitation to confront ideological allies. Governor Walz and elected local leaders identified with the causes promoted by the demonstrators, causing them to lose sight of their responsibility to protect the public from criminal acts committed during the riots. Basically, Governor Walz is a communist. He believes that this country deserves to be destroyed in a horrific fashion the way it was in the summer of 2020 by his comrades. He believes the country should be burned to the ground and rebuilt centered around the ideals of collectivism and equity, which are Marxist ideals. And that's from the Minnesota State Senate. And right now, that guy is a coin flip away from being in the White House.